Oh yeah, it's Sunday afternoon, about 2 o'clock here. I'm at Temple 45, which is about 770 odd kilometres into the walk. Just 3 weeks to go now. Done 4 weeks, just 3 weeks left. This last week, I've only actually done 6 temples, so it's been a bit of a strange week. In actual fact, I've been walking quite a lot on the roads, particularly sort of busy roads. I sort of feel as if I'm getting slightly behind schedule. I don't know why. I haven't really worked it out. I'm feeling as if I'm not going quite as quick as I should be. So because of that, I've been sort of walking on some main roads, trying to clock in some kilometres, and they're pretty boring, in fairness. I think next week, well, actually this week, I had to go through a few tunnels, and the tunnels out here are properly sketchy. There's not much room. There's on a busy road, when you've got lorries whizzing past you. I mean, they're not really quick over here. They only do about 50 miles an hour maybe, but when they're like within a metre of you and they're doing 50 and there's nothing between you and them, and you're in a dark tunnel, it's a bit sketchy. So I think next week I'll make sure that I try and avoid, even if I do less miles or less kilometres, I think I'll make sure that I keep a bit more to the back roads rather than the busy, not A roads, the E roads over here. So I'll quickly show you in the a quick map of where I am. You seen that? Yeah, so as I said, 3 weeks to go. Where does the time go? It's I think the next few days I'm in a big city, and then I'm back out to the coast, and a lot of what I'm doing now is back on the coast. This is probably the most inland that we get, this particular temple actually. So it's all been good. I hope you guys have been well. I'll try not to keep these videos too long. I know that they can get a little bit boring if you're just flicking through them, but hopefully there's something you'll find of interest in this one. And if you do, then hopefully you'll come back and see another one next Sunday. So catch up with you soon. See ya. So this is a Shinto torii rather than a Buddhist gate. It does sort of, I'm not sure whether this is true or not, but it definitely seems to me that the Buddhist temples are far more ornate and fancy than the Shinto temples, and these are really a Japanese version of Buddhism, I think, Shinto originally. So I did see something, or heard something, that there was a time when they were sort of a bit opposed to each other. But as you can probably see, there's no gold and there's no massive, great big Buddhas, and it's very much more simple than most of the Buddhist temples that we seem to see. But yeah, they're all pretty nice, and there's probably more of these than there are of the Buddhist temples. And sometimes they share a site. Sometimes they'll have them sort of cohabiting the same site. So. So all temples over here have a restroom, and this one is a little bit more unusual than most. It's a really new modern temple. Toilet. With a particular special feature. As I said, they're all pretty nice and modern. But this one is particularly strange because it happens to have a badger in it. So I suppose I'm going to have to scale that badger out. But I don't want to use that toilet, but I don't really want him to get sick. Come on. In fairness, it doesn't really look very well, does it? I don't know. Do I leave it there or do I try and get it out? Maybe it's been stuck here for a while. Who knows? Come on, that way. I'm going to go and tell someone. So I've got the guys collecting the cardboard and then they'll try and get out that badger. I don't really want to go to the toilet, I just really want to make sure this badger's okay. Eventually we got the monk in there, and I don't know what he did, but he managed to get it out. So a little bit of excitement in the temple today. Hi, so we just had the badger incident and now just moved on a little bit. It's nearly midday and all of these everywhere it seems to me in Japan seems to have a public address system. So if this works out about right, within the next 10 or 15 seconds we should hear the public address system. I don't know, sometimes they do the Big Ben chimes and sometimes they play some other music, but I'm sure you can hear that. It's a little bit spooky, particularly when you're up in the woods somewhere and you don't think anyone else is around, and all of a sudden some music starts chiming out. The pilgrims over here are called henros, so it always reminds me, actually, it's a bit of that public address system. It sounds a bit like Hunger Games. So I'm always thinking when I hear this, I'm thinking I look up in the sky and another henrow's fall, and maybe we'll have a number in the sky telling us which one it was. Anyway, just a little quirk of Japan. There's lots of them. Hi, Saturday morning. I just thought I'd make a quick video to explain how I make these videos. Some of you may want to do it for your own holiday snaps or whatever, or just for a bit of fun. It isn't really that difficult and it doesn't cost anything. So to start with, I take all of the images and videos on my iPhone. I think that's an iPhone 14 that I've got. But yeah, I only ever I don't use any other camera. I just use the iPhone. There's one important setting you have to change. You'll have to Google it to see how to do it. I've forgotten, but there's a setting which you can change, which makes if you're doing selfies, it makes any writing behind you look the right way, rather than looking as if it's printed backwards. So that's something which you'll need to do. Once you've done it once in your settings, it's there forever. So yeah, I use that for all of the images. Before I sort of upload them into a video, I sort of go into the settings and I just use the standard. There's like a magic wand button which you press, and that just sort of sorts out some of the lighting and some of the dark spots, and that just makes the images just a little bit better. So once I've done that, I'll sort of gather them all together, and I use a tripod, and I'll show you a picture of the tripod I use. It's just a small tripod, particularly for these selfie type things. So yeah, the only equipment I really use is the tripod, and then I start the wind come up, and then I also use this microphone. And when I was on the PCT, I noticed that if you do get a lot of wind, and it's actually a bit breezy here now, it really helps with the sound quality. I don't use it when I'm just walking around and I want to take a video of something small, but if I'm doing like this, like a few minutes worth of video, then I'll use this microphone. Other than that, I'll just use the microphone on the phone. So yeah, I use an application called iMovie, which is a free application from Apple, and you can do all sorts of things there. You can just select a load of images and videos, and it will do it all yourself. Or what I do is I individually upload them. You can change the transitions. It's got a library of music in there which you can use, which is all copyright free. So it's important if you want to upload your videos anywhere. If you don't use this sort of copyright free music, then there's a chance that whoever's music it is that you're using, they may object, or automatically the system just rejects your video. So certainly in YouTube, if you want to upload to YouTube, then you need to be using the music which comes with that iMovie application. But there's like 200 or 300 songs on there, so it isn't, you'll find something, I'm sure. So this time, normally I just edit everything on my iPhone as well. I use the iMovie app on my iPhone, but this time, because I'm a little bit more in hotels and a little bit more Wi-Fi, I've actually brought my iPad along. So this time I'm doing it on my iPad. It just means that I don't have to put glasses on to see what I'm doing. So it's all the same thing, really. It comes out the same. And once you've got your video, you sort of save it, and then you can upload it. Obviously, you see that I upload it to YouTube. If you're going to use YouTube, there's an application called YT Studio, which is a YouTube application. It's free again, but that just helps you manage your videos, and helps you see when you need to reply to a comment or that sort of thing, and gives you some stats about your videos. So yeah, that's how I do it. It's really easy and quite a lot of fun, actually. I mean, you can be really creative in that iMovie application. I think the main thing to think about for me is make sure that you've got good images in the first place. When you take an image from your iPhone, I always make sure that I wipe the lens, because when you're walking and it's wet or miserable, or you've got sun cream on your hands or something, it's really easy to get your fingers on the camera lenses, and then you take what should be a really good photo, and then you realise it's all just smeary. So obviously, the first point is to get good images or videos in the first place, and after that, just have fun and mess around in the in the iMovie app. I'm sure there's other apps, but that one just happens to be free, and it certainly does more than I'm capable of doing. So yeah, so that's how I do it. I hope you ever go, and I look forward to seeing what you guys can produce.